Good morning, all. Today we will discuss the topic motion in plane polar coordinates. In the previous sessions, we have discussed the motion in Cartesian coordinate system, and now we go to extend the equations: position, velocity, and acceleration into the new coordinate system, that is polar coordinates. So we have to discuss the motion in plane polar coordinates. Our new coordinate system is based on the cylindrical coordinate system. Have you the idea about a cylinder? Cylindrical shape. Consider a cylinder is placed along its length in the z-axis of the Cartesian coordinate system. Here in the figure, the x and y and z axis are shown, and additionally two quantities r and theta is also shown. And here we consider that a cylinder is placed along its length in the z-axis of Cartesian coordinate system. Here in the figure, the Cartesian coordinate system is shown, and now we place the cylinder along z-axis. The shape of a cylinder is familiar to you, isn't it? Okay, the cross section is a circular one. Okay, and the z-axis of this coordinate system is same as that of our Cartesian coordinate system. The z-axis of cylindrical polar coordinate system and our Cartesian coordinate system is same, but the other two coordinates are different. Here we know that the cross section of this cylinder is circular. Okay, so if we make some point in the circle. Okay, here we consider a circle of radius of this one, this cylinder. Here it is denoted as 2, and the angle is written as 0.82. The angle is denoted in radians. The SI unit of angle is radian. Is it familiar? We know that pi radian is equal to 180 degree. Pi by 2 radian is equal to 90 degree. Okay. Pi by 4 radian is 45. Okay. And the value of pi is 3.14. Okay. Here I take theta is equal to 0.82 radian, and to point it, we have to get the radius r, and we take a particular angle, this 0.82. If we increase that angle, look at here, if we reduce it, it varies. Then we increase this quantity. What happens? It completes the circle. Okay, from here to this side. Okay, and here we take z is equal to 0. If z is not 0, if it is some points, so if z is another value, take it 4. Okay, here anything. Okay, then to draw that quantity, we have to complete this one, then must go to in the z direction, and I here reduce the value of z here. Then look at here, it is our point 2, 3.02 and 1.5. Here the last quantity is the value of z. And if we set the value of z is equal to 0, here we set the value of z is equal to 0, then it lies in the plane, this plane, or it lies in xy plane. Here we consider the motion in plane polar coordinate. We set z is equal to 0 here, or we neglect the value of z here. Okay. So consider this diagram. Now, is it clear? It is the radius and it is the angle theta. The z-axis of the cylindrical system is identical to the Cartesian coordinate z-axis. However, the position in the xy plane is described by a distance r from the z-axis and an angle theta that r makes with x-axis. Okay, and now we consider this plane. This plane is redraw as this figure. Okay, the coordinate r and theta is shown in this figure. So Considering this as vector r, and this angle theta, we can find out the component of r in x and the component of r in y, and we can also find the value of r in terms of x and y. Okay, to find that quantity, first we have to find the component of r in y direction and x direction, and we have to find the value of r. And here I give you only the final value, that is r must be equal to root of x square plus y square. R is equal to root of x square plus y square, and theta must be equal to tan inverse y by x. Theta must be equal to tan inverse y by x. Okay, this is your first homework from this session. You should prove r is equal to root of x square plus y square and theta is equal to tan inverse y by x from this given figure. The hint is first you should find the component of r in x and y direction, and from that expression we have to find the value of r and theta. Okay, and here we consider only a planar motion. We neglect the z-axis and restrict our discussion to 2-dimension. Okay, the coordinate r and theta are called polar coordinate. Here the coordinate r and theta are called as plane polar coordinate. Okay, if the coordinate is r, theta and z, it is cylindrical polar coordinate. If we neglect z or we take only two coordinate, it is r and theta, then it is plane polar coordinates. Okay, and in the following sections we will learn the motion. In that we have to find the position, velocity and acceleration, and today we discuss only about the position, and in the next session we will discuss about velocity and acceleration plane polar coordinate. Okay, before going into deep of plane polar coordinate, first we compare the plane polar coordinate with Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, first I look at our Cartesian coordinate system. It looks like a graph paper, isn't it? There is two axes, x and y, and when we consider a line, that is this line, considering this line, okay, it is this line that is parallel to x-axis, isn't it? This line is parallel to this x-axis, and for this line y is equal to a constant. We know that in a Cartesian coordinate system, we represent the coordinate x comma y. For any point in this line, y must be a constant and x varies. And similarly, for a line in this direction, look at this line, a vertical line, here this line. Okay, for this line is parallel to y-axis. Okay, in that case x equal to a constant, isn't it? X equal to a constant, and here for the red line y is equal to a constant, for the green line x equal to a constant. Okay, and from the figure it is clear that the constant x line and the constant y line are straight lines and they are perpendicular to each other. The lines of constant x and constant y are straight lines and they are perpendicular to each other. Okay, can you see it? They are perpendicular to each other. Then consider our polar coordinates. In polar coordinate, there is two coordinate, that is r and theta. And for here this line, here considering this line theta equal to a constant, angle is a constant, so theta is equal to a constant line. In that case r varies, and this line, that is also straight line, and it is radially outward from the origin. All the theta equal to a constant line pass through the origin, and it is radially outward from the origin, and r equal to a constant. R is the radius. Okay, radius equal to a constant, that means it must be a circle. Okay, then the lines of constant r are circles concentric to the origin. Here if it is marked 1, then it is r is equal to 1 circle, it is r is equal to 2 circle, it is r is equal to 3 circle, etc. Okay, in that case theta varies, r equal to a constant. Then r is equal to a constant circles are concentric to origin. And here it's important factor that at this point it is the direction of theta and it is the direction of r. It is the constant, it is the constant r, it is the constant theta. Okay, then these two, the constant theta and constant r lines are perpendicular to each other whenever they intersect. At the intersecting points, the two lines theta equal to a constant and theta is equal to a constant, or r is equal to a constant, lines, they are perpendicular to each other. Okay, then we go to discuss to compare the values in Cartesian and plane polar coordinates. Now consider this graph. Here it is the Cartesian coordinate system. I take a point here. Let a point P is marked here. Let it be let at this point it is, what is its coordinate? The x is 8 and y is 5. P, we will mark it as P 8, 5, isn't it? Okay. Then what will be the corresponding quantities when we using polar coordinate? Here it is, x is 8 and y is 5. If we express this point in polar coordinate, what will be its value? Okay, then it is the polar coordinate. It is equal to P is first shows the value of r, the second shows the value of theta. Okay, then it is the value of r is 9.43 and the value of theta is 32 degree. Here first I take the value of Cartesian coordinate and convert it into polar coordinate. Okay, now I choose a different point. Okay, let it be I put the point here. When we look at that point from the Cartesian, it is approximately at 7, 7, isn't it? And when we look at it from the polar coordinate, this angle is 45 degree, and look at the radius. It is 1, 2, 3, and the point lies at 10. Then the point shows r is 10 and the angle is 45. Okay, and the corresponding rectangular coordinate, we said that it is approximately 7. It is 7.07 x and 7.07 y. The relation between Cartesian and polar coordinate, or it is the component of the r vector in the x and y direction. Okay, if r is a vector, then its component along x and y direction must be is equal to what? Must be equal to x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. When we take theta 45 degree and r is equal to 10, then we will get x is equal to 7.07 and y also is equal to 7.07. Okay, now I choose another point. Okay, I choose a point here approximately 10 10. I choose it is correctly 10 10. Okay, and that point in polar coordinate, that is the value of r is 14.14 and the angle is 45 degree. Okay, and I choose another. Okay, this coordinate is 3 7. Okay, and the corresponding polar coordinate must be equal to r must be equal to 7.62 and theta is equal to 66.8 degree. Okay, this is the relation of r. R is equal to root of x square plus y square and theta is equal to tan inverse y by x. Okay, so we can interchange the coordinate from Cartesian to polar and polar to Cartesian. Is it clear? And now your second homework question. Take any 5 set of Cartesian coordinate and convert to polar coordinate. And take any 5 set of polar coordinate and convert to Cartesian coordinate. It is your second homework question. And now we go to introduce the unit vectors. In the case of the Cartesian coordinate system, we have I and j are the unit vectors in the x and y direction, isn't it? The base vectors or unit vectors I, j, k, x, y, z directions. Okay, here we consider only the plane, so we consider the two base vectors I and j. I in the direction of increasing x and j is in the direction of increasing y. Okay, look at the figure. It is j in the direction of y, and it is in the direction of x. In a similar fashion, we now introduce two new unit vectors, that is r cap and theta cap. R cap in the direction of r and theta cap in the direction of theta. Okay, then what will be the direction of theta? Look at the figure here. The angle is increasing in this direction. Okay, then it will be the direction of theta. Okay, at this point, look at here, when we increasing the angle, the direction is this way. Okay, when it is at this point, the angle is increasing this direction, then the theta direction must be this way. Okay, so there is a important difference between these base vectors. Okay, that is the direction of r and theta vary with position. Okay, but the direction of I and j have fixed direction. I repeat, the directions of r and theta vary with position. Okay, and the directions of I and j are fixed. It will be clear from this diagram. Okay, here we consider 2 points. Here, 2 position vectors, that is r1, it corresponding to a position, this position, and here it is another position, and the directions of the base vectors is given in the figure. Then look at the directions. Okay, here this is the direction of I here, and it is the direction of j. It is same in 2 points, 2 positions, but the direction of r, it is in the direction of the r, it is this one, and here it is theta, then it is theta 1, direction of theta 1, and at this point this is the direction of r2, and it is the direction of theta 2. Okay, r1 is the first position, or r1 cap is the in the direction of radius vector. Okay, so r and theta vary with position. R cap, the base vector is r and theta. Okay, r cap and theta cap vary with position. But r and theta vary with position, but they depend on theta only and not on r. Okay, their dependence, the dependence of r cap and theta cap only with theta and not on r, because at this point the direction of theta this direction and r must be in this direction. Okay, here r is not changing. R is the radius vector, it is not changing its magnitude. Okay, that will prove now. Okay, now we have to obtain a relation connecting the base vectors in polar coordinate and the base vectors in Cartesian coordinate. Consider this figure. Here it is the r vector, okay, and it is the direction of r cap, and it will be the direction of theta. Okay, but here the direction of theta cap will be this direction, or we can say that it will be a tangent to the circle. Okay, but here we have to consider unit vectors. What do you mean by unit vectors? The magnitude of vector must be equal to 1. Okay, so here we consider this one. This is the r. It has, we consider a unit circle. A unit circle has a unit radius. Okay, and so in the direction of this theta, this is the theta vector, and we draw a vector that is parallel to this theta cap from here, because we know that when we moving a vector parallel to this, the same vector, its value does not change. Okay, so here to make the value of the magnitude of theta to 1, we draw the theta cap here, then increase the length to unit circle, then it is theta cap, isn't it? Okay, and this is unit and this is also unit, and it is the direction of I cap, and it is the direction of, look at the figure, it is the direction of j cap. Now we have to find the expression for r cap and theta cap. For that, Looking at the figure, okay, the r cap must be equal to cos theta I plus sin theta j, and theta cap must be equal to minus sin theta I plus cos theta j. Okay, looking at the figure, first we find the value of r in terms of Cartesian coordinate. Look at here, it is the vector r and its component along x direction, this quantity. Okay, then as it is a unit one, when we draw a perpendicular to here, then it will be the cos theta component, and similarly it will be the sin theta component. Cos theta component in direction of x and sin theta component in the direction of j. So r cap must be equal to cos theta I plus sin theta j. Okay. And now we consider this theta cap. And here we draw, here we have to find the components of theta cap. Okay, then to find the components, we draw a perpendicular to x axis, and here it is not x axis, it is minus x. Okay, then it is meeting at this point, then this length must be equal to sin theta, and the direction is minus I cap, and when we draw a perpendicular to this point, it will be the cos theta, this quantity is cos theta, then it is in the direction of j, then we get theta cap is equal to minus sin theta I and cos theta j. Okay. And your third homework, verify that r cap and theta cap are orthogonal. By orthogonal, it means they are perpendicular to each other. Prove it mathematically and not from figure. Mathematically prove that r and theta are orthogonal. Now our aim is to prove whatever the coordinate system, Cartesian or polar, our vector r must be same in the coordinate system. Okay. In Cartesian coordinate system, the vector r can be expressed as, from the figure, it is r, then its component must be x, then r must be equal to xi plus yj. And in polar coordinate, what will be r? A vector r, it has a magnitude. We know that it has magnitude or the length of this one from, it is r. It is the magnitude of r into r cap. So in polar coordinate, we can express the r vector is equal to magnitude r into r cap. Okay. Now in this expression, we substitute the value of r cap. What is the value of r cap? We know that the value of r cap is equal to cos theta I plus sin theta j. Okay. Substituting this quantity and comparing the values of r, xi plus yj is equal to r into cos theta I plus sin theta j. Here we comparing the coefficient of I and j from both sides. The coefficient of I and j. Coefficient of I, here x, and here it is r cos theta. Then we can write x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. It is the relations connecting polar coordinate and Cartesian coordinate. It is used in the beginning of the session. To obtain the value of r. Okay, the value of r must be find from this quantity, x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. Then when we squaring this quantity, x square is equal to r square cos square theta and y square is equal to r square sin square theta. From the figure, it is clear that it is y and it is x, then x square plus y square must be equal to r square using Pythagoras theorem. Okay, then r square is equal to x square plus y square then it must be equal to r must be equal to root of x square plus y square. Okay. Now I stop here. We will discuss the velocity and acceleration in the next lecture. Thank you.